Okay, and the exact same process on this guy. Let's put another unwrap on. Okay, drop it back down to edge, and we'll try to get this maybe just 2 chunks. Okay, you can see that green seam out there. I'm just going to put on the UV mapping clear just to be safe, and collapse it down to editable poly, and then add the unwrap to get rid of that. Okay, and let's go maybe in on the shorter end here. Just grab an edge and hit Z so we can see it. Okay, what we're going to do here is maybe just cut off the inside polygons. Alright, so let's grab this edge right here. Okay, right where that corner is again. Grab that one there. We're going to grab this one here. So control click that, and we'll hit loop. Okay, and we'll just go over onto the other side here. Okay. Alright, so we have that edge coming along the bottom. Select it. I know it's a little hard to see here, so we'll just grab this one by control clicking it. Okay, we're going to loop that one as well. Okay, and I'm going to convert that to the map seam here, so we have it going around the bottom. Okay, and both sides. And we also need to cut it across here, so let's do the same thing here. Zoom in on the other end, and with edge selected, we'll just loop this bottom edge. Okay, and just convert that to a seam. Right, that'll pretty much allow us to cut out the inside. We need to cut the corners here so we can kind of unfold this piece down and these pieces out. Alright, so let's grab a corner edge here, we'll hit Z. And for this one, we'll just select that one there as well as this one, right up to that corner. And I don't think we really need to select anymore here, so we'll just convert that to a seam. And we'll do that on the other 3 corners again. Okay, so we'll grab an edge, hit Z, grab the other one there, and convert it to a seam, and the same thing on the other end. Okay, so just those ones there, and the same 2 over on this side. Okay, and it's really a lot easier to navigate around if you just select an edge and hit zoom on it, which is Z on the keyboard. Okay, and I'm going to do that quite a bit. It makes things a lot easier to rotate. Okay, so the same 2 edges here, and convert that to a seam. Alright, and that should be all we need to do to unfold this. Alright, so same process, back to polygon. Let's grab a polygon on the inside there and expand it. Okay, and we'll just maybe pelt map this. We could have probably used a quick plane map, but either way will work. Alright, so just pull that out, hit commit. Grab an outside polygon there, expand it, and pelt that as well. Okay, and we'll just relax these down and try to straighten them out. Okay, this is a really long and narrow object with a lot of edges, so it's going to be a little bit more tedious to straighten out, but we'll do it pretty quick here. Alright, so I'm just going to rotate these up, right? Grab both of them, and we'll just relax them again. Alright, same thing here, face angles 100 on iterations and a 1 in the amount. And we'll just see if those can kind of straighten out for us. Alright, so just let that go until it pretty much stops moving or it stops on its own. Okay, and let's maybe grab this piece, which is the inside piece, and we'll just maybe straighten this one out. Okay, and then we'll relax it again. Okay, and I don't know if it'll work on this piece, but we'll try it. Okay, so we'll hit straighten and relax. Okay, and you can see that it's a little wavy here on the edges, so we're going to need to straighten that out. Let's maybe close this for now. And we'll just do this by actually straightening the edge selections here. Okay, so let's go back down to edge. I'm going to turn off by element here so we can actually select separate edges. Okay, we'll zoom in at the top here. I'm going to select this edge here, which is the one that goes right up to that corner. Okay, and we're going to hit loop down at the bottom here. Okay, now loop that all the way to the other end. Okay, and then we'll go up to the top here under the quick transform tools, and we have a line vertical here. Okay, so if we click that, it's going to straighten that edge out for us. Okay, so we're going to do that on that edge, and we're going to do it on the other loops here. Alright, so we'll grab the next one over and loop it. Okay, now one goes right up to the corner there, so we'll straighten that. And let's do this one here as well. Okay, And we can even do the outside ones here. So let's loop that and straighten and loop the outside edge here. Okay, and straighten that out. And we'll do the exact same thing on this side. Let's grab this one, loop, straighten, and we might as well do the same ones here. So let's just do all three of these. Okay, as well as these two outer ones. Okay, last one here, straighten that out. Okay, and even though it's twisted there, it should be able to relax straight for us. Okay, so we'll go back to Polygon, turn on by element. Let's grab this piece, and we'll go up to Tools, back down to Relax, and we'll just try to relax it again and see if it stays straight. Okay, so same settings. Okay, and just let that go for a second. And it doesn't really look like it's moving, so we'll hit stop. Okay, and you can see the pieces aren't in proportion to each other here, so let's see if we can rescale them. Just gonna grab both of them and rescale. Okay. Okay, that looks a little bit out of whack, but we'll see what it looks like in the viewport here with the checker material. So I'm just gonna minimize this. Let's apply our checker. Okay, and we need to scale these pieces down so we can see it. All right, so back up to scale, grab both pieces and just take them way down. Okay, let's put them over here, and let's check it out and see if everything's okay here. Okay, everything looks good. I don't think we actually have any squashed parts. All right, so that looks fine. We'll just leave it like that. Let's grab that piece again. Open up the window. And we might be able to stitch these two pieces together, so let's see if we can do that. All right, we'll zoom back in here. Okay, let's grab this outside edge here. Whoops, let's turn off by element. Okay, grab that outside edge, and you can see that matches up with that blue one there. Okay, so we'll do a loop on this edge. Okay, and then we'll right click and stitch select it. Okay, that's going to stitch that side back on so we don't have a seam there. Okay, so now we'll just grab all the, or the one piece here. Let's do by element. Okay, and we'll do one final relax on it. Okay, so same settings and relax. Okay, that's good. All right, so that'll take care of the bar. We'll scale it down a bit, and let's just park it maybe over here on the bottom. And we'll just check it out here in the viewport, make sure it's okay. Okay, everything looks good. That'll take care of the UVs for that piece. Okay, so unhide all again. And we'll just keep working. All right, let's maybe tackle the handle here next. So let's grab that, unhide everything, or hide everything else. And this is going to be a little bit difficult to get completely flat. We're probably going to end up with a little bit of distortion, but we'll flatten it out as best we can here. So let's put on another unwrap. All right, and I think the best way to do this will probably be to cut it into a few different pieces here. Let's maybe go back to edge, and the first thing we'll do is maybe cut a seam right up the back. Okay, so I'm going to select the center edge in the back here and loop it. Okay, we'll convert that to map seam, and it's really not going to be able to straighten out completely straight with just one seam. We're probably going to need to cut it maybe on the corners here as well. Okay, let's maybe cut it somewhere in the center here. Let's maybe do this one. Okay, do a loop on that edge and convert it to a seam. Okay, and we'll cut it up at the top in a similar place. Let's maybe do this one. Okay, so just like that. All right, we're probably gonna have a little bit of distortion on these corners, but it'll probably be all right. It might not be that noticeable. So let's go over to Polygon, and we'll grab a poly on the top section there, expand it, and we'll pelt map it again. Okay, so just pull that out. Let's do the center section. Okay, and the bottom section. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, so now I have that stretched out, let's just sort these pieces out. Okay, and we'll relax them down. Let's maybe rotate them first. I'm just gonna give those a bit of a twist. Okay, and we'll just grab all three pieces here, and let's relax them. Okay, so once again, same settings. Okay, so we'll hit that a couple of times. And let's rotate this piece over. Okay, I'm just gonna stack that up like that for now. Could probably straighten this guy out a little bit more. And let's just scale these down and we'll put the checker on and see how it looks. We're definitely gonna have a little bit of stretching on the corners here, but let's check it out. Okay, so let's apply our checker to that. And overall it looks pretty good. And yeah, you can see up here, we have that tapering in a little bit. Other than that, it looks pretty much fine. And I really don't know if that'll be even noticeable, so I don't think we really need to worry about fixing it. I don't think even if we cut it a different way, we're going to get much of a better result. Alright, so let's maybe open this back up. And we'll just leave the UVs like that. You can't really stitch something like this together. If we were to do that, and I'll just do it really quick here so you can see what I mean. If we loop this edge here and stitch it, and do the same thing with this edge here. If you stitch those back together and then try to relax it down, we're probably going to end up with a lot more distortion than we already have. Okay, and even if that's straightened out, it looks, let me just deselect that. It looks okay on the main section here, but if you go up to the top, you can see that that is really stretching there. Okay, so I think it's a lot better the way we had it with the original cuts. Okay, so I'm just going to undo this until we get it back to the way we had it. Okay, just like that. Alright, so I think we'll leave it with this layout. And I'm just going to scale this down a little bit more. And we'll just park it over on the side here. Okay, so not perfect, but I think that's good enough. Let's maybe unhide all. And we'll just move on to another piece here. Okay, so let's maybe grab one of these clips here. Right, and we'll just hide everything else. Okay, we'll do the same thing here. Let's put on an unwrap. And we'll drop it back down to edge. And we'll just cut in some seams here. Okay, I think we're going to need to detach these tab pieces on each side. So let's maybe start with this edge here. All right, I'm going to grab this one, which goes to this point here. We'll also select this one here and loop it. Okay, we'll continue this down and underneath. Okay, so this one here, loop that. And then we'll turn that into a mapping seam. Okay, so just underneath, up the side, and to the back there. We'll do the exact same thing over on this side. So let's grab this edge and this one, and we'll loop those. And convert that to a seam. Okay, we're also going to need to probably split the corners here right here as well as at the front, just so this can actually flip out and unfold properly. Alright, so let's go in here. We'll grab maybe this one here, and we'll also maybe just select maybe one more towards the front here. Alright, so those two edges, we'll convert that to a seam. Let's do the exact same thing over on the top of this one. Okay, so these two, same ones underneath. That one and that one, and over on this side. Okay, and then for these front ones here, we'll just grab this center edge here, which ends off in this point, and we'll just do a loop on that and convert that to a seam. And the exact same thing on the other three. So loop this edge here and convert it. And the same thing on the top. Whoops. Okay, so that one right there. Okay, so we'll start with these ones, and we might need to break this up a little bit more for it to get this to unfold correctly and to flatten out, but we'll start with something like this. Okay, so now we'll go to Polygon, and we'll grab a poly on this tab here and expand it, and we'll just pelt map all three of these pieces. Okay, so just pull that out, let's move this over, grab one on the other side there, expand it and pelt it. And the same thing on the back here, just grab one of those spaces and expand it. Okay, so now that we have the three pieces stretched out, we'll just see if we can relax this down a bit. Alright, let's space them apart first. Okay, so grab all three chunks there, back up to tools, relax, same settings. Okay, we'll probably get some distortion on this bigger piece here. Okay, so the tab pieces there are flattened out pretty good. This is going to need a little bit more work here. Alright, and we don't really want to just straighten it out with the straighten selection here. Whoops, let's undo that. Let's just grab this one and straighten that. If we do that, we're going to have some squashing in the texture here. Let me just apply the checker. And we'll scale these down a little bit as well. Okay, and you can see we got some problems right here along these top corners here. It's kind of twisted and kind of squashed there. Okay, and the reason for that is because in our UV layout here, we have all the edges straight and these little faces on the top here are rectangle, whereas on the model they're actually tapered at one end. Okay, so that's what's giving us that distortion. We need this kind of shape to be reflected in the unwrap window here. Okay, and just relaxing the piece isn't going to do that. We're going to need to break it apart a little bit more. Alright, so I'm going to go down to edge. We'll turn off sync by element there. And we'll just maybe select maybe the center edge here, okay, which is on one of the corners. We'll do the same edge over on this one. And we're going to loop those. Okay, and then we'll right click and we'll go to break. And that's going to separate those into three different chunks. Alright, so we'll just go back to Polygon here and just space them out. And we'll relax these down. Okay, and you can see now we have the tapered faces on top. We're still going to have some distortion on this corner here. Alright, so you can see that looks okay right there, but over here we still have the squash texture, so we're going to need to break it on these corners as well. Alright, so back to edge, turn off sync to element, and we'll zoom in here and select the center edge on this corner as well. Okay, and the same one over on this side. Loop those and break them. Okay, so now we have 5 chunks here, and let's just space them out a little bit, and we'll relax all of them down. Okay, alright, so now we have the proper shape at the top, and the texture distortion is pretty much gone here on these corners. Alright, and obviously this is going to give us a lot more seams, and that's obviously something you want to always avoid is multiple seams. You want to keep it as attached as possible. Okay, so what we can probably do here is leave the top broken, but actually stitch these front faces back together. Alright, so back into the unwrap window, turn off sync element, back to edge, and let's go in here and select this center edge here as well as this one. Okay, and let's go right click and stitch select it. Okay, now I'll stitch it back onto that chunk. So we'll do the same thing with these center faces here. Okay, just right click and stitch, and we'll just keep working over to the other side. Alright, so we'll stitch those together, and finally these two. Okay, and let's maybe just go back to Polygon and turn on sync element. Let's move this over. I'm just going to maybe park these next to it. Okay, and you can see this one here matches up with this chunk over here, so let's move it over and flip it. We'll just put it right next to it, and same with this one. We'll just flip this over 180 degrees and just leave it right there. Okay, we can actually scale this down a little bit more. And we could even give it another relax just to be safe. Okay, that looks pretty good. So we'll close that and we'll just check it out here in the viewport. Okay, so we don't have any squashing or stretching right now, and that's pretty good. So we'll leave the UVs like this on this piece. Let's just maybe go into that again And before we move on to the next piece, we're actually going to save the UVs out on this chunk and then apply them to the other 3 clips that are the same on the model. So with the piece selected here, we'll go back into the unwrap rollout here and go down to save. Okay, we'll click that, and this will allow us to save out the UVs for this particular piece. All right, so let's give that a name. Let's do maybe clip and save. Okay, and then we'll right click here, unhide all, and we'll just go down and select the next clip underneath it, and let's put an unwrap on that one. And we don't need to do anything here, we can just immediately go down and load the UVs for the clip. Okay, so select that, hit open. Okay, now if we apply our checker to this, you can see it's got the same UV layout as the top one, and if we open this up, we'll have the exact same UVs here. Okay, so that saves us a lot of time. We'll do the same thing on the other 2 over here. All right, apply and unwrap and load the UVs. Okay, and same with the bottom one. Just load up those UVs. Okay, so now we can just apply the checker to these 2, and just check it out, make sure everything's okay, and that looks good. All right, so that'll take care of those clips. We still have the 2 at the bottom, and we won't be able to use the UVs from these ones on these particular ones down here because we have a different vert count down here and a different shape, and it won't work if we try to apply it. Okay, so what we're going to do is grab one of these. We'll go up to group and ungroup it, and then we'll just select the clip here, hide unselect it, and we'll just quickly map this in a similar way. All right, so put another unwrap, back down to edge, and we'll just cut some seams in here. Okay, let's maybe start right here again. Grab an edge there, and we'll zoom in. All right, so same thing, the one that ends off here. Okay, let's grab that one as well as this one, and we'll loop them. Spin around the other side here, and we'll just grab an edge here and loop it. Okay, now we can just convert that to a seam. Same thing over on this side, the exact same edges, this one and this one, and just continue that down the back. Okay, so convert those, and we'll cut the corners in the same way as we did for the top piece. All right, so we'll start here. Let's just loop this one. Let's do all these at the same time. Just gonna select that center edge there on each corner. Okay, and we'll do a loop and convert them. Okay, just to be safe, we'll cut this one down here as well. Okay, so select that center edge, and for this one we'll just maybe cut these 2 again, convert that to a seam, and the same for the other 3. Oops. Okay, that should let us unfold the clips again, and we'll probably need to break this along the corners as well, but we'll just start with this. We can do the rest of the breaks inside the unwrap window. Alright, so back to Polygon, grab a face, expand it, and pelt it. Okay, same thing on the bottom piece, and that's good. Okay, so let's space these out here. And we'll just select all 3 pieces and relax them down. Okay, that's good. Let's maybe give these a rotation. Okay, and as you can see, the middle section there is pretty much the same as we had in the other piece. We're going to need to break it a few more times. Let's just rotate a little bit here. And we'll go back to edge, turn off sync to element, and just split these seams. Okay, so the center edge here, and on that one, and these other 2 here. That one and that one, loop them, and break them. Okay, and then select all 5 chunks there, and we'll just relax those down. And just slightly space them out. Okay, and then we'll just stitch these back together quickly. Alright, so right click, stitch selected. I'm just going to use my keyboard shortcut to this, which is S. Okay, so now we have that back together. We'll just give it another relax here and see if we can straighten it out a little bit more. And we could try by edge angles here as well and see if that helps us out, and you can see that's going to distort it even more. So we'll undo that and just relax it one more time by face angles. And let's actually try straightening it for a second. Okay, that's not going to help us either, so we'll undo that. Okay, if you want to, you could actually go in, select the edge loops, and then use the straighten horizontally and vertically here to straighten it out, but I really don't think that's necessary. This is such a tiny piece on the model, it doesn't really need to be perfect. Okay, so we'll do a similar thing here. We'll just line these up. I'm just going to scale them down and move them up here. Let's also apply our checker. Okay, and we'll just make sure that everything's facing the same direction, and it looks like it is. Okay, and we don't look like we have any distortion, which is good. Okay, so I think we'll just leave the corners broken again on this piece. And we'll just maybe just slightly rotate these so they're a little bit more straight. Okay, let's maybe just park this over here somewhere. And one more thing we should do is just make sure they're in the right proportion to each other. So let's just grab all the pieces again and we'll just rescale them. Okay, that's good. All right, so I'll take care of that one clip there. Let's save out the UVs for this one, and we'll call this maybe clip 2 and save. And let's unhide all. And we'll just grab the other one here. And let's ungroup that one. And we'll just select the clip, put it on unwrap, and load our UVs for the clip 2. Alright, throw our checker on there, and we'll just check it out quickly and make sure it's okay. Alright, that's good. Alright, so I'll take care of all those clips. Let's maybe do the bolt here next. Alright, so I'm going to grab that, we'll hide everything else. Alright, we'll just center it with Z. And for this one, I think we'll just maybe cut out the inside and maybe just cut off the back here. Alright, so with the smooth on, set to auto smooth, I'm just going to convert that to editable poly to collapse it down. Put on another unwrap, back to edge, and let's just grab this edge right here and loop that, convert it to a seam. Go up here on the back, grab this back edge here, loop it, convert that one. And in order for us to unfold this into a strip, we need to actually cut it from the front to the back here. So let's zoom in here, we'll select this center seam here and split that one. Okay, now allow us to unwrap that. Okay, so I think that's all the seams we'll need. Alright, so let's go back to a polygon. Grab a poly on the inside there somewhere and expand it. And we'll just pelt map the center here. Okay. Grab one on the main part there, expand it, and we'll pelt map that as well. And finally one on the back. And you could use cylindrical mapping on this, but I'm just going to pelt it. Okay, so let's just quickly sort this out here. All right, grab them, and we'll just relax them the same way. Okay, and let's just grab this guy. We'll just straighten that and relax it one more time. Okay, and for the center section here, because it's so small in the model, I'm actually going to scale it down and fit it into the center here just so we can save some texture space. Alright, so we'll scale that down until it fits into the inside there. And we could stitch it on, but it's really not necessary for something this small. Alright, let's just grab this strip, we'll just park it down there somewhere, and scale this entire thing down. Okay, and we'll just park it maybe over here. Let's take it down a little bit more. And that should be good for the UVs on the bolt. Alright, we'll just put our checker on here and check it out. Okay, that's good. So let's maybe just save the UVs from this piece as well. So let's call this bolt. Save those out, unhide all here. And we'll just go along and apply this to the other bolts that we have. Okay, so grab that one there, convert it to editable poly, and we'll just load up the UVs on this piece. Okay, so bolt, okay, and just apply our checker here and make sure it worked. Okay, so that's good. Now, rather than you watching me go around and apply to all the bolts up here, these 4 on the front and back, I'm just going to pause the video here until I do this so you don't have to go through the agony of watching me do that.